Get some water, take a break. I hope you enjoyed that dance. All right, let's see what time we got here. So, it's 10:40. We're gonna go over some volleyball skills today. So I know that you've been thinking about, what we can do as far as volleyball skills. So, if you don't need a ball for this, we're just gonna pretend that we have a ball. We're gonna talk about the different skills in volleyball. So, as a volleyball player, you have to think that you have one side of the court. Let's just pretend this is one side of the court in volleyball. Okay. Might even have a volleyball in here. Okay. Let's see. Should. But let's just say we have 6 players on this side of the court. We have 6 players on this side of the court. This bench is going to represent the net. Okay, so you have a server who has to step outside of a box, who has to serve the ball over the net. Now, most people, when they begin, they're going to underhand serve, right? So you're going to step back with the same side you're going to hit the ball with, and then you're going to try to hit it over the net, right? And then you have servers that take the ball, and they throw it up, and then they hit it overhead, okay? So if you have a shirt or sock, you can use that, but you don't need that today, okay? So you have 3 players in the front, 3 players in the back. On this side, 3 players in the front, 3 players in the back. So you have about 6 people on each team going back and forth. So the goal is to hit the ball over the net and have it touch the ground on the other side. If it touches the ground, this side gets a point, okay? Now, they'll go back and forth, and they'll have what we call our volleys, right? Going back and forth, volley, okay? Going back and forth. You can do volleying in tennis matches, you're volleying in racquetball sports, right? So anytime you're going back and forth, we're just call that volleying. So they volley it back and forth. One team is going to serve it over the net. It's going to go over. Then hopefully someone on this side of the net hits it over. But what happens is, since you have players on each side, it's not beneficial just to hit the ball over one side as soon as it comes back to the back line, right? So what they do is they do what we call is a bump, okay? So if you bring your hands together, and you can do this for me if you're seated or standing, okay? You're going to bring your knuckles in and your thumbs down. Okay, if you can see that, it might be too bright, but we're going to try to get those arms together. And so what people do when the ball is coming over the net, let's say the ball is coming over the net, they're going to bump. Okay, they're going to want to get maybe low, they're going to want to get wide, and they're going to want to bump. They're not going to want to hit the ball with one arm because they're not going to have as much control. And all that weight is distributed in those legs. Okay, so volleyball players have big, strong legs. They're really always in that ready position, and they're jumping up and down, right? So bring those arms together. We're going to practice our bumping, okay? So we're going to pretend we're on one side of the net. Maybe put something in front of you, or imagine an imaginary line. We're going to think we're just bumping the ball, okay? So go ahead and just practice bumping. So we're going to bump 5 times forward. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now we're going to go this way, ready? 1, and then back to center. 2, 3, 4, and 5. Other way. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Okay, now if you're seated, same thing. You can do all these moves while you're seated, okay? So look the same way. Go ahead and take a break, because then you notice how much strength you're using in those legs just to get low, and also to bring those arms together, you have to contract a lot of those muscles. So you have to almost use that gorilla back a little bit, right? So as you bump it, you're not just trying to bump the ball over the other side. You have 6 players on your team. So what happens is someone bumps it to a player. Another player then sets it, and then another player is going to spike it down. Okay, so the second step is the set. So go ahead and bring your hand, pretend you're holding a ball like this. And basically a set is anything that is, I'd say, waist and up. So shoulder and up. So if it's shoulder and up, you want to think you might be able to set that, okay? Everything overhead, you're going to want to set, right? Anything that's overhead, you're going to want to set. You're not going to want to, if the ball is really high, you can definitely, but what's usually going to happen is the ball is going to come down hard at you. You're not going to have a lot of time. So you're going to set the ball, you're going to bump the ball, then someone on your team is going to set. So we're going to practice our set. Whether you're seated or standing, we're going to go 5 in the front. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And let me put this camera back a little bit so you can see that. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then we're going to pretend that we're moving over to set. 2, 3, 4, 5. And now this way. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So setting is a lot of over shoulder, all that shoulder work. So as you probably felt that in your muscles. Take a break, get some water. So that was some setting. Now, so you have 6 players on this side. Remember, what's going to happen is that ball is going to come straight down over that net. So that's why they have to get down low and bump. Sometimes they get super low. Sometimes they even dive like this. Okay? So you might have knee pads on playing volleyball. It's a very hard, aggressive, powerful sport. So they bump it, then they set it, and then one person is going to try to hit it over the net. Okay? So we're going to pretend spike. Okay? So we're going to pretend toss the ball up. It's almost like an overhead serve, actually, because you're going to hit it the same type of way. You're still going to try to hit the ball over and down, right? But as a serve, you want to try to go forward. A spike is going to want to go down. So what we're going to do is we're going to try to go up and overhead and hit it down. We're going to go for 5 on each arm. So here we go. 1, try to hit it over the net. 2, all the way up. 3, all the way up. 4, all the way up, and 5. All right, other arm. This one's going to be harder. Maybe 1, 2, going up and over. 3, 4, and 5. Now, if the ball is really high, you might have to jump up and hit it over the net. Okay? So let me make sure my heart rate's not too high. Okay, it's not too bad, we're good. So we're going to do 3 jumps with our right arm, and then we're going to do 3 jumps with our left. All right? We'll take a 10-second break in between. What we're going to do is we're going to pretend that we're jumping over the net. And we're spiking that ball over, trying to get that ball, remember, over that other side onto the ground. If it touches the ground, you get a point. That's why they're trying to bump, set, and spike. Because if you were to just bump it over the net, it would be too soft of a ball. That's why you hit it down and over the net. So we're going to go 3 with our right, 3 with our left, or whatever you prefer. So we're going to pretend that you can jump up as high as you want. If it hurts your knees to jump, then I want you to just do what you did before. Okay, here we go. 1, 2, 3, and now we're going to go other side, other arm. Here we go. 1, 2, and 3. All right, so those were our spikes. So we did our bump, we did our set, and we did our spike. Okay, we did our spike just like that. Okay, now we're going to pretend we're doing our serves. So go ahead and hold on to the ball. Pretend that you're holding on to the ball with one hand, and then you're going to serve it with the other hand. Okay, so what you can do is one foot forward, almost like you're bowling. what is your stance when you're bowling, right? So think about your bowling. What's your bowling stance? So, but this time the bowling ball is not on the right arm. Okay, you're going to be holding the bowling ball with the wrong arm. And then what we're going to do is pretend that you're hitting a bowling ball. Now it's a volleyball. So now we're going to hit that volleyball up and over. Boom, over. Because that's how we're going to learn how to serve the ball over the net when we play. Okay? So almost like we're bowling, same stance, same arm, but we're holding that ball the opposite and then we're hitting it off. So we're going to practice 10 here. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, don't hit your hand. 4, 5, 6, 7, shifting my weight back and then forward. 8, 9, and 10. Now we're going to go the other way. So now I'm going to just turn, face this way, opposite legs forward. Now I'm going to bump, or I'm going to serve it with my other arm and hold it with my opposite. So pretend you're bowling with your opposite arm, okay, and you have your opposite foot forward. You take the volleyball, and we're going to bump it over. Remember, closed fist. We're going to go for 10 reps. Here we go. We're going to lean back a little. 1, and then lean forward. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Okay, so that was an underhand serve. Now the overhand serve is go ahead and pretend that you're holding onto the ball. This is what it would look like if I had the ball. So I have a shirt so we don't hurt anybody in the house. If I'm going to throw it up, and then I'm going to try to hit it over just like that. Okay? So that's why it's important to have a shirt, maybe, because then you're not going to hurt anybody. So we're just going up and going across, but for the video, we're going to go ahead and pretend that we have the ball. So we're going to have our ball, we're going to throw it up, and then we're just going to hit it over the net. Okay, here we go. Go 5 with our right, 5 with our left. Okay, we're going to throw it up with our one arm, and then hit it with our opposite. That's 1, 2, 3. Just like a serve in tennis. 4, and 5. Let's switch arms. You're going to throw it up and then hit it over arm with the opposite arm. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Good. Awesome job. So you learn how to bump. Go ahead and show me your bump. Get low for your bump. Remember, wide feet. Wider the better, because you can get lower with wide feet. See how low I can get with wide feet? Look at how high I am with tall feet. If that ball is low, I can't get down there. That's why volleyball players are like, they look like they're spiders. Okay? That's your bump. Practice your bump. Go side to side. Okay? Set. Seated or standing, just like this. Remember, you can't push the ball. It has to be a clean hit. Okay? Can't catch it and push it back. 2, and then you can set it this way if you needed to. You might have to pass it to somebody like that. You might have to pass it to somebody like that. Okay, so there's different areas. You're not just going to set it like this each time. You might set it like this. You might set it like that. Okay, and then your spike is just, you're jumping up and you're hitting that ball over the net, right? And then your serve, your underhand is like bowling, but you're holding a volleyball with the opposite arm. Okay, that's your option 1 serve when you first learn. It's the easiest way to learn. And then your full serve is when you throw it up and then hit it over the net. Throw it up and hit it over the net. Throw it up and hit it over the net. Throw it up and hit it over the net. Now you're going to have a dominant arm that's going to want to do that, so go ahead and try to practice on the opposite. Okay? Remember, always give your opposite a chance, because it doesn't get a lot of work, right? So always try to take care of both sides. Good job. All right, so we're going to go ahead and cool us down because we're getting close to 11. What we're going to do is just get some water if you need it. Find a chair or somewhere to sit on the ground. I'm going to go on the mat. So I'm going to sit down. Okay, I'm going to just start. You're going to start like this if you're on the ground. If you're seated, I'll show you the seated version first. We're just going to sit. You can cross the legs. You can bring the bottoms of the feet together. You can also stretch your legs like this. You can go out. You can go one leg in. So you can do all this stuff seated too. Okay? I'm going to bring my feet together. Breathe. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Okay, one leg out, one leg in. Try to bring your chest forward. Don't bring your chest down. You can bend that knee if you need to. Just inhale and exhale here. You go inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. Let's go ahead and switch side. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Good. Okay. If we're in a chair or if we're seated, what we're going to do is we're just going to go through some ankle circles. So if you want to do this in a chair, you can. It might be easier. Or if you want to do this on the ground, you can too. So we're just going to go through some ankle circles wherever you are. And if you're not able to use your ankles, you can just do some wrist circles, so whatever you prefer. So we're going to go with one foot, try to go nice and slow. Toes going around a circle. And then we're going to circle the other way. Okay, and then we're going to circle the other ankle. And circle the other way. Good. Go ahead and cross those legs. Take a big inhale. Big exhale. Just come back to your breathing. Big inhale. Exhale. And get all the air out.